Welcome to the Hawks Nest live stream show special presentation of the Mariners ALCS coverage. The Seattle team has worked their way through one hell of a tough season to earn their playoff berth. Get in the playoffs, the first series was hard as it got, 5 games down the line. Here we go. Get on the second round, we're thinking it's going to be another slog. We're going to have to fight this thing out now, tooth and nail. Tooth and nail. But we shall see today if they can keep the good times going. It sounds like YouTube's definitely, I think, having some issues, by the way. I'm seeing a little bit already in the comments. Hopefully, there is some issue, I think. I was trying to work with some YouTube stuff prior to going live and having some issues there. So, well, maybe I have to roll along with this as well. But I'm very proud to be able to cover this game today, watch it with you guys as much as we can now, and hopefully enjoy our Mariners keeping the ball rolling here. This Toronto Blue Jay team is not going to go very quietly into that good night. I expect we're going to get a very sound effort from them today, their best effort, if you were. So we'll see what Seattle can do. Love coming back home here. Love the fact that you got the opportunity here coming back home to really work off the momentum you've already kind of really on build up in this series. And let's see if they can close this thing out now to a packed house that you know is going to be jazzed up to the nines. I do want to give a shout out to the sponsor of this show, which is going to be Sleeper. Sleeper been holding it down for us this year on the football side, but it can be on the baseball side too. You can throw down your picks here with the #1 sports app. Why? Because they got football, they got baseball, they got it all. You can mix, match, get your picks over, under, fantasy every week, whatever you may want, they have there. And you can go right now, use my code, get matched up to 100% of your first deposit up to $100 when you use the code NEST. Or you can also, in addition, either or just this, they also have a $20 free entry, no deposit needed right now, just creating a login as it stands. That's $120 back in your hip pocket from me to you, and you show some love to the channel at the very same time. We call that a win-win. My picks tonight, 4.5 strikeouts, more for George Kirby, more than one hit for Jorge, clutch in the zone, different gear to this guy in the playoffs. Bronco. If I could just only roll my tongues. I've wanted for years to be able to roll my tongue for a variety of reasons. Then we got Bieber, 4.5 strikeouts as well. Over on that too. So those are my picks. Thank you to Sleeper. Let's get this kicked off. #1 sports app that's out there. Do please see their site for terms and conditions before they do apply. But it's open up here in the state of Washington. So we have a little bit more fun with that. All right, so opening lineups announced here, pretty similar to what we have seen so far. Anthony Santander is going to go up into the 4 hole. They're going to drop the trash can into 5. But pretty similar. Barger goes down a couple spots. Blue Jays trying to rework the lineup. It's either a good sign or a really bad sign. Yeah, they're not letting you in the stream. See if I can even get in there right now. Yeah, there's issues going on right now with YouTube across the board. So if you're not able to get in, it's quite understandable. Seems like, oh, shoot. No, don't do that. No. Going on here? Boy, it's tripping out. Tripping. Of course, YouTube would have a problem. We're going to have a playoff game here, huh? Great timing. Great timing. Seems fine now? Okay. Well, hopefully we can get this going right. All right, maybe not. Okay. Goodness gracious. Can I get a thing on my deal here? Okay. Everything's having some technical issues here. All right, I think we're up and running. I think we're okay. You two bows me money, Brandon. I know, man. Come on, not today. Not today. Strike here on the opening batter for Kirby on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. George having a pretty good postseason here. See if we can get them another clutch game. Bouncing ball to the third base side. Eugenio Suarez is up with it, and he will throw out the run at first. Sounds like YouTube's starting to get things resolved here. Does seem like it was a site-wide problem. One man down. Lukes is up at the plate. Strike. Great to see Kirby come right out here in the first and be able to work this zone. Luke's having a pretty good postseason in over 400. Foul back. 0-2. How you doing, Addison? Mari Cortez, Dazilla. It's good to see you. Feed me. Max, Megan, Nat. I hope everyone's having a great night. Hopefully the issues get resolved here. Yeah, keep the counts low. Be able to get Kirby as deep into this game as absolutely human possible. Certainly, you'd love to see 6 at least. 6+ if I want to get a little greedy. 1-2, sinker inside. Thank you, J-Boy. Happy to provide. I was hoping people would like doing a little bit of baseball coverage. You never know because the football audience is so voracious in their love of that sport, but everybody seems to be pretty cool about that, which I appreciate. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Heated down the middle of the plate. Just blew it past him there. 2 men down. Good movement, too, there. That pitch is got a little run to it there at the end of it. George working off the power of that wispy mustache. 2 outs. Low, ball 1. Vladimir Guerrero up at the plate. Seahawks have been able to hold on one sec. Bouncing ball, third base side. A little bit of a wild throw there. And he'll get it on. Suarez could not quite get it to him over there. He just had a hard time gathering up the ball in the first place on the hop. It just kind of took a weird hop for him. But then the throw was pretty wildly off there to Naylor. They're going to score a hit on that play. Just off the plate, strike 1, right on the black there. Max says, yo, Brandon, you're much appreciated. These actual announcers are bozos. I hope I'll try to provide some good play-by-play. Baseball's the secondary sport, but I'll try to keep you guys well attuned to what's going on here. Hi, 98. I love doing this stuff, man. Just like the play-by-play of football. It's always just a lot of fun. Kind of like a dream as a kid to be able to cover this team in this way, pitch by pitch or play by play. So Tander up at the dish here, hitting .231 this postseason. Swings through a 97-mile-an-hour fastball there, top of the zone. Just didn't have his eyes clearly upon it. Battle of the better birds. Kirby's got the movement working on the fastball here so far. 1-2 count. Fans rise to their feet. Saying, please, kid, go get this. Ooh, high and tight there. Sinker a little bit up. Ball 2. Kirby with the raw. And gets him with a nasty little slider there. Had him looking probably sinker fastball and came back with a nice little loop of a slider right around his bat. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, not a bad inning there. It's a tough play there by Crawford. Or by Eugenio. He was on it. He's got to do a turn and a spin. It's a tough ball to get off accurate all the time. Appreciate everybody for checking out the channel today. If you can too, please, of course, hit that like button. I know it's a thing I ask often, but there's people looking for Mariner coverage right now like yourselves, and it certainly does help. Megan, thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate you for that, Megan. She says, just got my tickets for the final Sydney Back to the Future show in January. Now to get my Doc Brown cosplay ready. Oh, there you go. It's kind of a two-piece, isn't it? It's got to be the wig, and then it's got to be just doesn't he got the one? It's like he's just got the one onesie almost. The white onesie, isn't that what he's kind of wearing? Something like that. Have the hair he's got the hair tossed up. You can get one of those wigs off of Amazon easy. But congrats, Megan. I know you had a great time the last time. Should be good again. Get back in there. You're going to make everybody laugh when they see you in the Doc outfit. No doubt about that. Races, Mariners and Dodgers look dominant. West Coast, World Series. Well, we've had the Subway Series, right? It's not quite the Subway Series, granted, but the West Coast version, baby. Looks like that's going to be it. And Dodgers look scary as advertised. As you say, they're playing good foot baseball. They've been here many times before. They've got a very deep roster to get this done. Oh, it doesn't get any easier, and we still got to get out of this round. Power of the willowy, wispy mustache. It's there, man. You can see it. You can see that power at play. It's like electricity at his lips. Yeah, we need one of a Rosa. I agree, BK. Rosarina, Robles. Can we get a big swing from one of you guys here? It's been quiet. Rosarina's a little better. He's at least carving out some good at-bats up to the plate and working some counts and sometimes just finding a way. But it sure would be nice to get a couple hits from both those two guys with what the rest of the lineup's doing today. Picture what that could bring about. Addison, I'm glad they gave Vladdy a hit there. They call that the home field scoring, I think is what they call that. Max, I'm still low-key mad at the Dodgers for signing Ohtani too. Imagine Ohtani on this roster right now. And you could have done that contract. Could have been. All right, Bieber out here for the Toronto Blue Jays. He misses outside ball 1. Rosarina will be your first man up the plate here for the Mariners. 161 this postseason. Ball 2. He has done the good job here, though, of what you do want, especially in just even simple moments like this to start out a game. It's sort of the older cliche, but getting out there, take some pitches, work the count a little bit, takes a cutter there for a strike, maybe looking fastball, didn't get it, just kind of sits on the cutter. He's doing a good job of getting into some depths on some of the counts here. Three and one. Inside, good eye. So continues with that good eye. getting himself a walk here in the first at bat. Just what you want to see here from Randy. And it's where, again, he's not always the most conventional of leadoff hitters, but he's kind of finding a way to make it work, I think. And they're flashing a stat here with Bieber, the guy you're taking on the mound today, has gone through the Tommy John surgery, had about a half season of coming back here. Hasn't quite, I think, looked up to this point like your vintage Bieber of old, but with that surgery, it can sometimes take just a little bit of time to get everything back to what was. Cal takes 0-1 here. Nobody out. Bottom of the first inning. Cal gets on top of that and gives it a ride, sending it foul out into the seats. Just put it too far in on his hands there for him to be able to do anything with that ball. Such quick hands on Cal. Bieber comes set, 0-2 count. Bounced up at the plate. Ball one. Bieber coming set here. 1-2 pitch. Or the Rosarina gets his lead. Low. Nice eye here by Cal. Drop back into a count, working in his favor here. Blue Jays have pitched Cal very carefully in this series, understandably so. You want to not get too carried away with getting too free swinging at that if they're going to go even more into that direction from an extreme standpoint than normal basis would be in a regular season. 2-2 count. Maybe you think about, you don't send to Randy here. He hit off the end of the bat here, foul, but this will be playable by the left fielder, and Randy gets back to the bag. Just a cutter that just kind of dipped right over the edge of the plate there at the end, and Cal couldn't help himself. It's close enough where you got to be a little defensive to get, throw a swing on that thing, but flew it out nonetheless. Sorry if your stream's way ahead there. I got right now Julio just stepping up to the plate, so about something a 10-second pause will get you there. Over to the first base side, pickoff attempt on Randy, sensing he might get a little bit jumpy here with a potential steal attempt. I wonder if there was a P to Rosarina. 1-0. Runner on first. Randy's rolling. And he gets there. Let's go. The aggression on the base paths continue for the Seattle Mariners. Swapping, stealing bases wherever they get a chance. And Randy keeps making me look good, talking him up as being, whether he's getting hits or not, be a good leadoff man. It's a role in itself. And things like this can pay off in a big way on a game like this where it can get very tight down the stretch. Julio set up here with an 0-1 count. Inside, manages to hold up on the swing, 1-1. Rodriguez hitting .207 this postseason. Started things off wonderfully in the last game with that 3-run shot. The pitch. Julio gets on it and then sends it for a ride. That ball's going back. That ball's got a chance. It's gone. Home run, Julio. A legend grows in the fall with every successive swing. The young man's legendary status. Oh, I remember when he took it to Toronto in Toronto. I remember when he came back here and he said, oh, you want to see what we're ready to do today? You want to see whether we're prepared for this opportunity? Hangs it on up, sends it on out. Let's go. left him a hanger. Blanco gives this a first pitch right into the gap. That's going to get down and get into the seats for a sweet ground rule double. Polanco jumping on the first pitch in the at-bat and riding it out into the gap. In right field, just not doing too much with the pitch. And what a beautiful swing by Julio. Got his pitch, left it up in the zone, and everyone seemed to know it right there on the field the second he hit it. There must have been something about the way that thing sounded. Talk about if a fan base wasn't already turned up here. Josh Naylor steps in now. Naylor, first pitch swinging foul. Back-to-back games. Julio Rodriguez setting the tone. Where's the superstar? There's your superstar. Didn't need to do this to earn it. But let this shut the door down on those who want to ask about it. 1-1. Ball down in the dirt. Let's go, Julio. Naylor chops down on this swing into the dirt. 1-2. Smiles in the Mariner dugout after that shot. Naylor hitting .290 this postseason play. Hard man to strike out. Blanco gets his lead. He doesn't get him to chase there. Good job holding up his bat. That was a pretty naughty pitch there from Bieber. That thing had some nasty 12-6 movement on the back of it. Count runs 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he loses his bat on the swing for the strikeout. Hopefully everybody was ready with on deck in the Mariners dugout. Strikeout there, and that will be 2 down. Eugenio Suarez steps into the plate now. 228 on the season, 49 home runs, only hitting about 143 here in the postseason. But boy, with a big swing here, he could really, really set the stage here for the Mariners. Bieber comes set, looks back, checking Polanco. Eugenio gets just under this slider there, knocking it back into the crowd. 1-1. Good sign here with the Mariner batters. If you're not Julio or Polanco who got a hit in this inning, every other batter so far has drug a count in 4 or 5 pitches, minimum 5 pitches deep. Swing and a miss there by Eugenio. He got a fastball. Looked like something he could work with too. Just could not catch up to it. 1-2 count. Ooh, off the end of the bat there. Got him with a slider. Just couldn't track it. Lifts it up to short. Will come up with a catch. But the damage done. Mariners, 2 runs, 2 hits. 1 man left on. Julio with the first big punch of the game for the Mariners at the Blue Jays. Trying to put a stranglehold on this series. Sean says Gold Glove nominee with the golden bat for a 2-run RBI home run in the first inning. That's right. It's the time of year where things get tight. This is the time of year where things, for a lot of these guys, hands get sweaty, a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of jumpiness. Yeah, I've seen with Julio on one of those things that he may be a slow starter, but he tends to be a pretty hot finisher. And wonder if in an endpoint part of the year like this, as he's kind of going into it, if you get that right feeling going, Brian says Tommy John surgery was not kind to Bieber. Can't find his slider. No, it does seem like it's there at times where you can feel it throw with where it's right there. But I think he hung that thing to Julio on, which was a slider, I believe. Whatever it was, it hung up in the clouds like a freaking balloon. But yeah, you're coming back off of that, and it's a real learning process. I think the pitchers would tell you it's probably similar to guys off the ACL where you have to almost relearn how to run a little bit. We got to keep Blanco and Naylor, that's for sure. They are must keeps. Julio! Pressure's on them. Pressure's on them, that's right. You love working Bieber at the top. You got into the bullpen last game. I think every reliever, the first 4 relievers that came out of the pen, all gave up an earned run, which was cool. Maybe a susceptibility to getting back into him again here in this game with it already pushing up some of the pitch count of Bieber there in the first inning. 23 pitch-ons. Toronto going to have Kirk, Varsho, and Baja up at the plate. Julio sent it to Julio Town. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Hell yeah. Sean says T-Mobile Park's looking sweet in this fine Puget Sound golden hour ALCS sunshine. Ooh, yeah. It's not a bad time of year still. This is like right before the real mist and fog and porous weather starts to roll on in. It's like the last little vestiges of summer. Kirby with the wind outside, ball 1. Alejandro Kirk up at the plate here. He's hitting 200 this postseason. Kirby set up. Outside. There we go. Strike. Out of the way, George. There's only one Golden Glove nomination on this team. Yeah, I am. That's kind of weird. The Cal one, he didn't allow a pass ball all season. On top of having an absolute cannon back there throwing out runners. On top of managing this pitching staff so well. Hit on a line for Naylor. He's able to climb the ladder and pluck it like a grape off a tree. Stabs that thing. Hit hard by Kirk, but out number 1. Right place, right time. Look at the hops on Naylor. I'm not saying that big man can dunk, but his fingers are tickling the net. One out. Kirby with wind. Nice pitch there. Slider. Strike. Right on the edge of the zone. Dalton's not doing nothing with that pitch. Nothing. Fouled off. Sinker. Strike 2. Kirby pumping fastballs here out the gate. Good to see. Kind of pumping strikes, not fastballs. Strikes. Varsho hitting 304 this postseason. Kirby with delivery. Hit up high into the air here. First base side. Naylor's got a track on it in foul territory. He'll collect it, and that'll be out number 2. That slider of Kirby is just ridiculous. Two outs. High. Ball 1 there. Kirby's got his sinker rolling at about 1.5 miles faster than it normally is in the regular season, according to stat that they just showed. Kid's tuned up tonight. 1-0. High. All right, that was a good call. Careful with Barger on this pitch. I might just come back with a slider here. Challenges him with a fastball. Hits it out to center field. Julio's under it. Out number 3. Ballsy. 2-0 fastball down the middle of the plate. Where's my button?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Just what we want, huh, Joss? 23 pitches, 2 innings, throwing strikes. Pick him up, put him down. Pick him up, put him down. Koken, how's it going? Good to see you. There's a boiler suit or the red suit shirt and yellow coat for Doc. It's got to be the white one, Megan. You got to go. It's the whatever the white one is. Red shirt, yellow coat. Man, that looks like a white coat to me he's wearing. No, not the yellow one, not the future one. Yeah, it's the white, like, looking jumpsuit one. That's the one you got to do. That's the one. Such a weird looking dude. Sean, Naylor won a Sonics jersey to the game tonight. That's Aura farming at its finest, Sean. And it's going to work. Addicted 3 up, 3 down. Kirby's a great pitcher, but these fielding plays might start taking the want to out of the Blue Jays. Nothing more demoralizing as a hitter than when you hit it hard right at somebody. Especially when you're seeing it happen a couple of times. Yeah, boiler suit's the one you got to go with, Megan. That's an easy choice. Easy pick. Nice. B, grapes grow on the vines, not trees. I'm not here for my intelligence. I'm here for my silky smooth voice. I'm not a smart man, but I know what baseball is. All right, let's get after Bieber again here. I'm not a Bieber believer. Oh, 1 here to Dominic Canzone, 7-hole hitter. Dom looking for a little more Don, hitting 83 here in the postseason after hitting 300 during the regular season. 0-2. He has some at-bats, doesn't he? I'll give him this. At least he took on 0-2. He's trying. But that's what happens is then goes for the knuckle curve in the dirt, just flailing at it. One man down. Bottom of the second here. Mariners up 2-0. Slider, strike. Victor Robles up at the plate. 136 this postseason play. Strike. Bieber maybe starting to find a little bit of his rhythm here. Mariners trying to take a little bit here. It's breaking ball at that. So you're just like, well, let's see if we get a fastball. And then they get him to swing at something off the zone. Back-to-back at bats that went the exact same way. Bieber just peppered him with breaking pitches, and they tried to just first take the strike for the first two strikes and say, I just won't swing at it. He'll throw it as a ball, and he gets it in as a strike. And then when they get to this third strike, they still can't see the pitch any clearer. But now he's throwing it out of the zone because he's got one to bury. Julio we got Crawford stepping in now. 2 men down. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back fastballs here from Bieber. Maybe not as worried about Crawford here. Willing to go after him. Inside, good eye on the cutter. High. Ball. Strike. Crawford thought he had a walk there. 3-2. Bieber with the wind. Swing and a miss. Gets the strikeout there. Crawford still shaking his head about the prior call there that he'd give him the walk. And Bieber with a very good inning of work in his 4th K on the day. And by the way, if you're taking my advice at the top of the show today, you are 1 strikeout away from being in the money. 1 Bieber strikeout away, which is probably going to come. It's the same blind ass from the last game. That guy was, he was bad. He was getting universally raked pretty hard too. He's been all right. That last call, he's been on it with most of the borderline pitches. I guess just that call was the one that you go, There's an epidemic of them in the last game there, wasn't there? Epidemic. If you can, for me, hit that like button, please. Eight, 9-1 will be the order here for the Blue Jays this next inning. All I want is Jared Leto to say, it's Tron in time in this new Tron movie. It's all I want. I don't care about the visuals. I don't care about the story. I don't care about the acting. I just want him to say, it's Tron in time. And then he throws something cool. It's Tron in time. That'd bring the house down. Why do the hums hate JP? I don't know, man. He sometimes struggles to get the love up there at the dish. Do like how he worked the count. Do like how they've worked this pitch count with Bieber so far through the first 2 innings. Got him at 35 pitches. First pitch swinging, laced down the line here, and that's going to get down for 2. Clement rounding, working his way to second there. Kirby works the zone. And he's been pumping in those pitches, so Blue Jays realizing jumping on top, getting aggressive early on. Nice swing. Definitely what he was looking for. Up comes Jimenez now. Shortstop. Jimenez filling in for Bo Bichette. Little talked about aspect of this series is that one of their most, maybe even behind Guerrero, capable hitters in this lineup. And he is out, of course. 0-1 here, batted foul on the first pitch. Mariner fans already on their feet before 2 strikes. Oh, he gets into this one. Driven deep to right field, and that ball will fly away. Home run, tie game. A little bit too much of the middle of the plate here with Kirby, especially on his fastballs. That was a 4-seamer right down Main Street. And they're trying to get that pitch a little bit higher, and he got it more belt high than he got it more up at the top of the zone is where they were trying to hit it at. And he sent it. So the bottom of the order for the Blue Jays coming through in a big way here, tying this game up. George spotted really well through the first 2 innings, but he's been living right in the middle of the plate with the first 2 batters here to start this inning out. Got to be a little bit more careful, buddy. Trust your stuff, but not middle of the plate. This is inside here, ball 1 on a slider. Sanchez, thank you for the $10 donation. He says, put in lock. The obligatory put in lock. I'll tell you this about the lock thing. Swing and a miss on a slider. With Milroe not quite looking ready to go here, Sanchez, I'll tell you what, the next 2 years, if anything does happen with Darnold, he's the guy coming in. Knock foul here, 1-2. Here we go, Kirby. Blue Jays turn back over the lineup here. Thank you for the $10 dono, though, man. Drew Lock. Off the end of the bat here, out to right field. Robles has got a ways to go. Oh! Robles makes a great catch over there and that's even a better catch when you consider what happened to him earlier this year. The ball is lined out far into right field, climbing towards the seats in foul territory. Robles is giving chase. And remember with Robles, he's remembering the play he got injured on earlier this year where he went into the net and he hurt himself, costing him most of this year. Still laying it on the line here in the playoffs, laying his body in the line, throwing his body into the wall to go make the catch, coming up grimacing. You know it hurt, but you get the out. 1 down here. Off the end of the bat, 1-1. Luke's 0 for 1 in this game. Kirby trying to work through some of the trouble here of this inning. Off the end of the bat, out into the center field for a base hit. Come on, Curbs. Take a moment here, try to recollect. But you never know there with Sanchez. I'm telling you, something does happen. He'll be the first guy in. Grab. Oh. I don't know why they can't make those things even softer than they already are. It'd be like pillows going into the siding over there. Pillows. Robles is pretty tough, though, man. All right, Vladimir Guerrero up the plate. Dangerous moment here. Runner on first. Tie game 2-2. Top of the third. One man down. Outside. Ball one. Nice slider there. Strike. Guerrero probably sitting on the fastball, but there. Boy, this is slammed down into left field. And things have taken a turn for the worse here for Kirby here to start this out. Toronto offense has woken up. And they're hitting everything hard this inning off of Kirby. He's just way too much in the center of the plate right now. I mean, he's not over on the edges. He's not the high end of the zone. He's just too much in the middle of the plate with pitches that they can work with. You got to get more into kind of some corners here. He's kind of magnet sliding to the middle of the plate on all those pitches when he's in the strike zone. Making it a lot easier to swing at these. Swing and a miss, strike. Everything rolling so well for Kirby and just ran right into a roadblock this inning. Yeah, he's just not he's not hitting his spots right now with Cal. I don't know how long we'll be in the world here with Kirby in this game. Cal spots low. He's missing outside wide. 1-1. Once again, just 2-1 missing. Cal's setting up on the inside part of the plate, and he's missing with that slider 7 inches off the plate. Not a good sign here. Come on, Curbs. Swing and a miss, foul. Strikeout would go a long way here. Yeah, I think he's probably coming back with a slider. That's his punch pitch. Kirby comes set. 2 men on. 1 man down. Tie game. 2-2 count. Comes back with a slider, but misses it low. Ball 3. Batted ball on the ground here. Taken by Naylor. For out number 2, he's able to hold the runner at third. So a big out there. 2 men down. Alejandro Kirk up to the plate now. 0 for 1 with a line out in the second, right to Josh Naylor. There we go. Ooh. I don't know. That looked pretty good to me. 1-0. Two and 0. Three 0. Not giving in. They don't want to give him fastball. Slider, he bounces up at the plate. Kirby just kind of has lost his feel here this inning. Can't really spot his slider right now all of a sudden. There we go. Strike. Kirk taking all the way. Outside. Another slider away, well off the plate. And boy, I think Dan's got to be thinking a little bit here that this just might just about be Kirby's only last batter I'm willing to try him with here if this goes a different direction. Hopefully they've already got somebody warming up in the pen because you're not seeing right now pitch in and pitch out. He's feeling his way through it right now, and he can't just live on the fastball without the slider working to some degree here. Little big man is up. All right, bases loaded, 2 men down, top of the third, tie game. Here comes Varsho up to the plate, the lefty on righty here for the Blue Jays. And oof, Cal able to snatch this one up in the dirt. Again, just nowhere near the strike zone here. George, what's going on, man? Take a breath. Where's the pinpoint control? Deep breath. Some days as a pitcher, you just don't have your feel for it. He had it in the first 2 innings, but gets him to swing at it. And that's going to go back to the backstop on the swing, and that's going to score a run. Mariners are going to maybe wait to challenge this to see if he made contact on the foul, which he did not. Just a wild pitch. Come on, George. Smacked hard out into right field. Robles is going to have to take this off the wall. This is going to score multiple guys. And that's got to be it for Kirby at this point. That's enough. That's enough, Dan. Out he goes. How many more belt high pitches right in the middle of the, he can't put his fastball's living in the middle of the plate. He can't spot his slider and he doesn't seem to trust his sinker. I don't know how you keep rolling with him at this point. He doesn't have it today, Dan. You can see he just doesn't. I know it looked good through the first 2 innings, but it has gone off the rails this playoffs. You have 3 runs here. You can limit down the damage this does. They're going to stay with him. Bounces it over there. Out number 3. But 5 runs suddenly posted in a freaking blink of the eye by the Toronto Blue Jays. Yeah, they tried to calm him down. They tried to walk a pitcher out. I mean, he just didn't have his feel for it today. He's a guy with usually pinpoint control. And when you're seeing his fastball sitting in the middle of the plate to batter after batter and the slider, I mean, all over the place in the dirt here and the dirt there, you just can't spot it in any place in the strike zone. And there's not a lot to be done there on that. And again, you don't have the time in the playoffs to sort of be like, well, give him a couple innings to work through it. It's like, well, you're suddenly giving up 7 runs if you're not getting more of that hook out there to get this figured out. Judah says, it's all good. M's winning 5. Let's go, Judah. Yeah, maybe Kirby just a little bit too nervous. A little bit too much in that overthrowing it, not just trusting your stuff. Certainly not what you typically get from him. Still in shout distance in this game for sure, but whoa. Kevin's confident. He says, Hims are going to win this game. Let's go, Kevin. It ain't over yet. He called it, Megan Judah called it a gentleman's sweep. That's when you win in 5 games. Ryan, can you win the game in 3rd inning? No. 4th inning? No. I'm not bailing on him, Kevin. I'm bailing on the Mariners. We knew we were going to get their best swing. Will says, hey, from UK, love your Seahawks content. So trying to get into baseball with the Mariners. Can anyone tell me what the P48 means next to the batter's name? P48 next to the batter's name. Oh, that's a good question. I was going to say P for pitches, but I can't say for sure. I'll look out and see if I can find what that might mean on that. Thank you for giving it a try here on that. A 1 count here to Randy Rose Arena here in the 3rd. Oh, and 2, slider outside. Well, at the same time that we've seen Kirby struggling to find his placement of the pitches, we've got Biederbert locked in, loaded, and dealing. 3-pitch strikeout here on Randy Rose Arena. So I'm not too sure what you were seeing there. Sorry, I missed it on the top there on that. Swing and a miss on the changeup here to Cal Raleigh. Oh, I see that. If you're bailing on the team right now. Yeah, no one's bailing on this team. Hit up into the air here. Sky to second base. Quickly 2 down. Sean Edwards. I was thinking that too. That was pitch 48 count. I think that was the pitch count, I think. And that's just tracking the number of pitches that the guy's thrown. Usually get to 100 pitches, and that's where guys, Will Butler, will start to lose a little bit of the steam. They start to be on deck to be out of the game if they've been pitching even well. All right, here comes Julio now. 0-1 to him. 2-run shot in his last at bat. Takes the knuckle curve off the plate. Bieber's no doubt probably going to be pretty careful with him in this moment. He's got the slider working now. Off the plate, gets Julio to swing at it. Strike 2. Off the plate, good eye there by Julio, 2-2. Hit on the ground here. Slow roller to third. Barehanded. No play to be had. Julio's too fast for that. He'll get on here with 2 outs. Nice job by Julio. David, thank you for the $2 donation. It says Kirby throws middle when off. Definitely was living right that. You ain't living long with major league hitters in the middle of the zone. Even if you got great movement on your stuff, they will hit that. Let's see if Jorge's got another clutch shot in that bat here, too. A double for him earlier in this game. Swing as hot a stick in this lineup as anybody. Strike, change up, top of the zone. Beaver going to a little more of the change this inning. Just gets on top of that slider there, skies it out to center field, where that will be out number 3. So base hit, no runs. Mariners maintain 3-run deficit here, down 5-2. Not just says, yo, B, I love Jesse, but man, he sure does get in his feelings when it comes to a Hawks quarterback. Yeah, he definitely will dig in on on his Seahawks quarterback takes. Which is weird because he always gave Russell a lot of credit, but he is a man when he is unconvinced on a QB. You are not leading that horse to the well. You may lead him to the well, but you ain't getting him to drink. You can stuff that muzzle into the bucket of water and he can be so thirsty, yet he will still not drink. I'm going to keep working that argument, though, with him. I'll get him there eventually. He's a tough sell, though, isn't he? Rob says, as a Canadian Hawks fan here, I'm feeling kind of stuck here. I get it, man. There's multiple allegiances at play. It's not easy. It's not simple. Wookie says, oh dear, what score did I come back to? What happened? Homers? No, just you had 2-run homer and then you had double and wild pitch and basically you just kind of had Kirby kind of lose a little bit of his feel in that last inning in a big way. Maybe he gets back here. Jinx energy is real. Addison, every time I pick the M's to win on the money line, this happens. Maybe I'm bad luck. You can't control the way the universe works with this type of stuff. You just got to read the universe and act appropriately as we move forward. Yep, and sadly, you can't do any more money lines with them. It's hard and fasted the rule at this point. I don't make these rules. We take expired time or we'll get more Kirby. I imagine he'll try to stretch Kirby out a little bit longer here, especially down 3 runs. This is a little tighter, maybe you at this point, but I think the time to pull would have been a couple batters back. Might as well just roll forward with what it is now. Outside, ball 1. It's not over yet here. Yeah, long game still left. That's a check swing. Should be a strike. God, I hate these manager interviews. Who cares? What decision has come up that he has to be consulted about at this point in time in the game? That was a ball, huh? All right. Strike. Boy, another check swing. Really? Okay. 3-1. George, come on, buddy. Strike. There we go. Here's the wind. Got him. Strike 3. Sit down. Get your bat off your freaking shoulder. Hoping the ump bails you out. Nice pitch by Kirby. Right there on the black. It doesn't get better than that on the sinker. Nice call there. I don't know if that was a strike. 0-1. Andre Jimenez up at the plate. 2-run home run in his last at bat. Swing and a miss on a sweeping knuckle curve. I've seen a lot of the knuckle curve from Kirby here today. After that swing, I'll probably bring it out again. Bouncing foul. He did go back to the knuckle curve. I would have too after that last swing. Let's try that again. Let's give that another chance. Probably not 3 times in a row, though. Yeah, he comes back with the fat sinker a little bit higher up in the zone. 0-2. 1 man down. Top of the 4th. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Steady as she goes. 2 men out here quickly in this inning. Saban says, I'm jinxed. I can't watch or listen to Seattle sports. Maybe this is the jinx killer. This ball, first pitch, hit up in the air, skied far and high, deep to center field, and this will be gone. Springer hits a titanic shot to center field for a home run. Mariners go down 6-2. Ooh. I don't know if I'm throwing Springer any more first pitch fastballs or any more first pitch strikes the rest of the series. He's put 2 out in the seats already. He's going up there swinging for a 1-hitter. I feel like you can't treat him like a normal leadoff hitter there. 1-2 after knuckle curve there. He is attacking up at the dish. Well, that'll be it for 4 innings. Another run packed on. 4 runs away now are the Mariners. Why am I getting this stupid crap on my screen? Golly, this stuff. Right, exact type of crap will get my stuff demonetized too. Thank you, ESPN. Something to do with Tua that has nothing to golly. Man, he got crushed. Yeah, the thing with the Kirby thing is what I kind of meant by that with the whole pulling him already, it's you would have probably pulled him prior at that sort of moment where you could sense this thing was sliding off the rails. And then when you didn't do that, you were essentially kind of, I'm not saying you're giving up on this game. They're not giving up on it, but Dan's more going, look, we've got 3 days of games in a row, and we're trying to come out of this with 2 wins. And I'm not trying to burn through a bullpen when we're down by 3 runs at this point in the game. And it's going to be hard to carve out that many through the rest of this game. Just being realistic, if you're a manager trying to anticipate a little bit of that. So it just then falls back onto like, well, we need him to eat some innings up here. And if he gives up a couple runs in that with it, it's like, it sucks, but you want to preserve some of the best parts of your pen here. And if you got to go to it this early, you're probably going to have to go to some of the good parts of your pen to get through this game. Just to try to give you guys insight into what he might be thinking there a little bit. Yeah, you shouldn't wear out your bullpen in a game like this with a 2-0 lead. It's kind of a strategical move a little bit. Just forfeit. And we got a chance in this game still. Bryce has 21 postseason home runs for Springer. I definitely would pitch that guy a lot more careful going forward. The home run he hit off the other night of Bryce was just totally legit. I mean, that thing was 2 inches off the plate, and he put that out. But definitely would be very hesitant to be throwing him too many fastballs going forward. I don't think it's like a quit. I think you're just doing it. You're hoping you can settle in and keep the bats down for a couple more innings. You're not going to try to rock them for 3 more, but just trying to keep them down for a couple so you don't have to quite go so early into the pen. But I don't think it's completely a layover. You're giving up the game. It's not necessarily that. But you are managing different aspects of this with this sort of 3 games back to back to back and trying to want to make sure you've got your pen fresh enough to make this work through the whole series, especially at a time when you will really need them. Change up. Foul back here. Bieber's been rolling well. High, ball 1. Smack to the first base side of the ground. He's up with it, is the second baseman, and he will throw out Naylor for out number 1. Poncho Honcho, thank you for the $5 donation. He says, are you having a fire sale yet in your fantasy draft? Yeah, admittedly, fantasy's not been going the best so far for me out the gate. That's for sure. I'm struggling a little bit here. The loss of Burrow to my quarterback room hurt. But ball 1 here to Eugenio. But, Burrow will be coming back at some point. I'm ready to bounce back. I'm making it happen here, Poncho. Thank you for the $5. Swing and miss with Suarez here, 1-1. This ball is going to be fouled back first base side, 1-2. Yeah, trying to get a couple runs carved out here in these middle innings. Come back down the line, see if you can bring it back at that point here. 2-2 count here to Eugenio. Bieber set to deliver. Eugenio smashes it on the ground to third base side. He's up with it, and he will throw Suarez out. 2 men down. High, ball one. Smashed foul by Canzone. 1-1. Dominic 0 for 1 in this game. Meek swing there on the changeup. Barely fouls it back. 1-2. Bieber with wind. Low. Bounces another change up there. Yeah, you throw him another change up after you see that swing last time. No surprise there. All right, Dom. Get this at bat back into a place where you can do something with this pitch. Batted foul, the knuckle curve. Good job staying alive. Shane Bieber's been solid here for the Blue Jays. 5 Ks. Trying to put this 4 innings to work. Oh, man. Another off the end of the bat. Swing there by Dom. Looks almost playable. Luke's couldn't quite get to it. He comes up walking a little gimpy. I bet Luke's just hit that same place in that wall where his, let's see. Yeah, he hit the same place on the wall where he hit that ball off his thigh the other night. That's just got to hurt. Like, of all the places. Two count here for Canzone. Batted foul, staying alive. Two count. Swing and a miss on the changeup, and that will be out number 3. Mariners retired the side, down in order. End of the 4th. 6-2 Toronto Blue Jay. Blue Jay. Blue Jay. Michael Bicknell, thank you for the $5 donation. I appreciate that, Michael. Jesse's logic. Playing good in the playoffs equals good quarterback. Nick Foles is a better quarterback than Lamar, laughing out loud. He judges quarterbacks by potential ceiling, not by current play. Yeah, I'm not all that sure, Michael, of where exactly the metric lands. I mean, you're right about that. I got him at least last night to go, okay, what is it? Give me something tangible that actually is where you put this measurement at, besides just my eyes or my gut. And he essentially says that Sam's got to win a playoff game to sort of prove him on this ground. And I think number one is just arbitrary. I think as well with this, Michael, I don't know of anyone who's ever said that, you know, their measure for an elite quarterback play is that you have to do this in the, I guess some people would, but I don't know. It's not a widely held belief that a good quarterback is going to only be measured by what they can get done in the playoffs. And if they don't get it done in the playoffs, and especially if they only, in Darnold's case, of course, Michael, how many playoff tries has he gotten really? You know, it's not like the guy's been in the playoffs every year since he's been in the league. He had that one opportunity. That's a sample size. And then to make that judgment off of him. And again, to make the judgment off this back of a quarterback play in general, it's part of what I rail against. And maybe this is why for me that I get so into this debate with Jesse so fervently, because it's one that I get with people all the time, where people have this idea of quarterbacks somehow operating like you would get in basketball, where you throw it out to the guy on the wing. You tell all of the rest of the 4 guys to get over on the other side of the floor, and you let him just go dribble his happy butt until he can find his way to work his way to a shot. And people sort of apply that to the quarterback position as though offensive line doesn't matter, tight ends don't matter, running backs don't matter, running game doesn't matter, offensive scheme doesn't matter, pass catchers doesn't matter, horrible defense, good defense, doesn't matter. None of that stuff, all that stuff is detached completely from playing the quarterback position well. It all comes down to this sort of innate thing that they have or don't have. And a lot of times then when you drill down on that, Michael, it becomes, they don't have this it factor. And you go, well, what is that? And it all is, you end up playing a game of going in circles around and around to things that are just vagaries that don't mean anything. You know? Labels that don't really mean anything. What does it mean to be the guy? What does it mean to have it or not to have it? And again, it's just always a changing metric, you know? I remember that worked that way with Gino, where people with Gino would go, like, even as he was putting up the stats, I'd go, okay, well, he's putting up these numbers. He's doing it without A, B, C, D, E. And then they say, well, he's got to do the comeback wins to really show. I mean, that's what I measure a quarterback in. First pitch swinging by Guerrero. He lifts this ball deep. This ball's going back. This ball's gone. Home run. Kirby is serving up some meatballs today. I mean, just he's serving these things up so meaty, they're hitting it to the deepest, hardest portion of the park to hit a home run. That's how good a swing he's allowing on these balls today. And a lot of these first pitches that are just, I mean, he leaves that slider right in the middle. At least it's a slider instead of a fastball, but still leaves it right in the middle of the plate. Julio gave it a try, but couldn't get to it. Tough game here from Kirby as far as needing him to come out and give you something. And boy, he can't even kind of hold the line here every inning now. 3rd inning in a row, he's given up a run. He couldn't find his slider today with 2 hands. Just not his fault. Sometimes you don't have it. It really is as a pitcher. It's maddening. Sometimes you just, a little bit of nerves added on in there with it. Oh, it's tough. It's a tough conversation too, Michael, with the whole quarterback thing, you know. It just is one where I went through this with Russell and Gino, and we're not getting as much with Sam. I think this fan base has been very well educated, a lot better from the kind of quarterbacks we've had come here with Sam and Gino in the last 2, in understanding to look at this with a little bit more depth than normally they would have. All right, Dan, you've gotten what you can out of Curbs. Just go to Vargas at this point and call it a day. I was willing to let him eat the innings here, but this is just now he's going to walk guys on top after he just gave up a home run on the opening batter. This ain't it. Oh, boy. If you hit the like button, they'll change the picture. Give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. Ay, 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 ay. Someone says, playoffs? You talk about playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. All-time great Mora rant. All right, Vargas out now with runner on first, nobody out. High ball one here to Alejandro Kirk. Vargas bouncing ball up the middle here. Crawford can't get to it. That will be a base hit. 2 runners on, nobody out. The bleeding continues. It's hard to sweep teams. I just echo what Weather was saying in the chat. This is tough to sweep a team this good like the Blue Jays. And your pitcher doesn't have his ace stuff. They can punish him for that. Doesn't mean that now the series has somehow swung their direction here. It's going to be hard. We're going to have to earn this. It ain't going to be just a 2-run shot and close it out easy peasy. You're going to have to take this series. And this game ain't over either. Still a lot of game left here. But we've got to start to limit down some of these runs. We're going to need we're going to need to close this faucet up here pretty quickly. You know what I mean? We got to sort of hit spigot mode right now. Low for Vargas, 1-1 here. Varsho up at the plate, 1 for 2 in this game. Top of the 5th, nobody out. Mariners down 7-2 here. Up 2-0 in the best of game, 7-game series. High strike there. Foul back. Fritz says, I really thought Kirby was going to settle in, but that last single was just too much, said Dan Wilson. 1-2. Ball hit up in the air here. Varsho gets underneath it, and that'll stay just on the outer edge here of the infield, keeping the runners at bay. 1 out. John says, it's funny because the Niners are stuck in these horrible contracts. They don't have any hope for years to come. Well, that's the part with Jesse, that he's very smart when he looks at a lot of other stuff when it regards to football and how he sees things. And he's very much a realist with this Niner team, you know, and his outlook of whether they should be aggressive at the deadline or what the timetable is looking at for them to turn this over in the right fashion. It's just this one particular area with him. 1-0, low, Vargas there. 2 runners on, 1 man down. Barger up the plate, 0 for 2 in this game. He hits this foul. Rosarina giving chase, and he will come up with it for out number 2. Let's get the rally cat in here. We need some rally cat. Some black rally cat. This is how you turn the bad luck. I'm fighting the bad luck with bad luck. It's what they call fire on fire. That's what it takes to, and there's a base hit. Okay, maybe not with the cat. Mariners get a throw out at third base, but there'll be another run that gets home. So Yeah. 8-2. Kitty, I need you to make me feel better about this, okay? I need you to explain this loss to me. What happened to Kirby? Do you have any answers? Do we have any hope? What did you say? What? A 9-run bottom of the 5th inning? Really? Okay. I'm with it. I mean, if you say it, I believe you. You say it, I believe you. She's getting so old. She's moving around like an old lady. I know. I'm telling you guys, this is going to this is going to move the needle right here. I can feel it. 6 mere runs in 5 innings. That's easy work. We call that in baseball light work. An easy day at the office. Get Sam Darnold to throw a touchdown in the 9th. Let's get them rally caps going. I got the rally cat. You guys need to get the rally caps. Easy day at the ballpark, Megan. When you got Soto Mojo. When you refuse to lose. Anything can happen. Telling you right now.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Cena believes. I believe. We only got the bottom of the order coming up. George needs a hug. Probably does. I can't blame him. I would too. New Black says, I thought T-Mobile was hard to hit at. Nobody told the Blue Jays, I guess. Well, when you leave pitches in the middle of the plate belled high for a good hitting lineup, you could probably be in Yellowstone and they're still going to hit it out. David says George doesn't deserve a hug. I think Castillo's going tomorrow, Ryan. Might be Woo, though. Megan B, did I tell you I've been a Blue Jay fan for 10 years longer than I've been a Mariners fan? You did tell me that. Not a fan of it. Maybe my least favorite thing about you. All right, Victor Robles takes 0-1. Golly, make him throw you a strike, buddy. God. Feels like Robles is kind of like one of those guys in this lineup like Garver or Eugenio. They live in 0-2 counts, partly because they just can't control the zone. Swing and miss there at the slider. Quickly 1-2. Mariners will off the end of the bat here, but that'll go right to the second baseman. Soft pop up for out number 1. Victor Brandon, do we think about calling a sober call Uber for Brian Myers by now? Oh, 1. Crawford fouls this back. There we go. Base hit out in the center by Crawford. Let's get this starting. Let's get it started. Megan, you don't get to be both a Yankees and a Blue Jays fan. You don't get this, create this rule book of, I get to be all of these baseball team fans. You got to pick one. I won't hold you to you don't have an Australian team, so you get a lot of freedom here to pick the one you want. You don't get 5 different teams. Give me a break. I mean, Yankees first, but then a Blue Jay, but then a little bit of the Orioles too. No. 1-0 count here. Randy Rosarina up at the plate. 0 for 1 here. 1 runner on. Outside. Ball 2. Make him throw you strikes. Find a way, like Addison says. Find a way on base, Randy. Strike on the cutter. Yeah, I don't approve of your 3-team parlay fandom thing. Too much hedging. 2-1. Outside. 3-1. Good take. Make him throw you a strike, Randy. Randy Land. Ball batted on the third base side, double play ball, and they can't quite get it. Rosarina runs it out, but the first out is there at second, round number 2. Two men out. Cal Raleigh up to the plate here. Outside, ball 1. Cal gets up underneath this one, and it's in foul territory. They're going to see if they can make a play on it. Dan Wilson and the hitting coach kind of low-key getting in front of the catcher, not giving him a pathway. They didn't try too hard to get out of the way there. They're like, we can't, you need to come in our dugout to get the ball. Oh, I just can't. Sorry, I can't get out of your, oh, I want to go left. Oh, you're going right. Oh, well, the ball bounced. Whoops. Oopsie. 1-1 count. Ooh, good take by Cal. That changeup was in a tough spot. Kirk almost ran in the dugout. He did. Dan and the pitching coach were kind of sitting there like, we don't have to move. We could. We don't have to. It's playoffs. Cal batted foul ball in the fall. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to swing out of the zone there on a fastball high. He's been sitting on changeup through that at bat, and you got him up into the high portion with the fastball. And he's like, ooh, he got it. I think Cal's eyes probably got a little bit big on that fastball, finally getting one there. That's tough. not just be our night here. Got a little bit of a break here. Let me, if I can, run a little bit of a quick shout out here to a sponsor, and that's going to be TickPick. You're looking for tickets right now? Got a new sponsor here of the show, which is TickPick, which can help you out in that. Let me just run this really quick. I don't know about you guys, but one of my biggest pet peeves is hidden fees when it comes to buying sports tickets. A little bit extra here, a little bit extra there. Oh, sorry, sir, just one more surcharge. Why can't the price I pay be the price I saw listed? If only there was an app where these fees didn't exist. Which is why I want to give the sponsor of today's show, TickPick, a huge shout out. With over 20 million downloads, TickPick has you covered. NBA, NFL, concerts, festivals, you name it, they got it. TickPick provides the lowest prices, guaranteed. Oh, and no fees. What you see is what you pay. The NFL's in full swing, the NBA's just around the corner, and Major League Baseball playoffs are in the thick of it. Now is the time to lock in the best app in the game at finding you the right ticket at the best price. I love using TickPick. Last year, I was supposed to go to the opening game of the football season with my buddy who was also bringing those tickets, but he bailed on me at the last second and I was left to scrambling. I thought I was going to be up the creek without a paddle, but I fired up the TickPick app, was able to find a really nice seat by utilizing their high seat rating, which just looks at the combination of price and seat quality to get you that best bang for the buck. And I was able to go to the game and experience an incredible game at that. TickPick has your back. Each ticket bought is backed by the buyer trust guarantee so that you can trust your seat is legit. And of course, I've got a code for you guys. When you use code HMA, get $20 off your first set of tickets with TickPick on a purchase of up to $100. That's $20 off any tickets when you use promo code HMA. Make sure you click the link in the description section to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, TickPick. All right. Thank you to TickPick on sponsoring the show today, along with, of course, Sleeper. Very, very much appreciated. Half Daddy says Kirby with one of his worst starts of his career. Yeah, he picked a bad time for it to come through like this, and I would love to just give simply credit to a really good hitting the Blue Jays lineup that was able to make some great swings on great pitches by Kirby. And the first two innings were, I mean, you're basically what we've come to know and expect from Kirby. Base hit out into left field here on the first batter of the inning in the top of the sixth for the Blue Jays, up 8-2. But then that inning came along in the third inning where he just really lost his touch on the pulse of his pitches across the board and couldn't locate his slider. Really struggled even locating his slider, I feel like, even from the jump. It was kind of coming here or there through the first two innings, but then it went off and it was done in inning three. And then he'd go back to the fastball, and his fastball would just sit in the center of the plate, and they were just teeing off on it. Very strange. But you knew you were going to get the Blue Jays' best. This is a good team. This is a team that's been in postseason play very often in recent years. Strike. They are, they're not going to just go easy and gently. Springer up at the plate now. Off the end of the bat here. Robles giving chase, but this ball is going to get down, and this is another base hit. Boy, they've gotten some hard shots, and they've gotten some nice balls in just the right spots, too, in this game. And the baseball gods are definitely on the Blue Jays side this one, too, as far as somehow they've landed this one. All right. Yeah, that's not Vargas's fault there. He just threw the bat at the ball. I might have just stayed with Vargas with it. It's not his fault. I'm gonna let him keep going. Maybe they're going to bring Emerson Hancock back out and let him close this up. Excuse me. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this needs to be Ferguson or Hancock here. I don't really want to be burning the rest of the bullpen at this point. 6 runs is a tough roll. Thank you, Addison. Thank you, guys. The struggle's real with the sneezing. Hopefully the Blue Jays are using up all their runs tonight. They're burning out all the bats this evening. Beast Mode says we haven't been to the World Series yet for a reason. Got to prove we deserve to be there. No handouts. That's right. It's not going to be easy. Does look like it's Ferguson on the dill here. First pitch swinging. He'll come up with it and tag his man out. Runner's got a hold on third. Or no, the runner scores, sorry. Oh, that'll be a 9th run here for the Blue Jays. Rodney Brando, rough game tonight. Kirby has been so strong, but didn't have it tonight. It's one game, though, at the end of the day. Yep. That's why you play a long series like this, so it doesn't just come down to a one bad start by a starting pitcher, but the game's determined by who's got the best team out there. He was on the bad side of it tonight. Sometimes that'll happen. You'd like it not to happen in the worst moments like this, but it does. We're going to have to, it's going to be a fight this series. It's good to get the first 2 games, but it's going to be a fight. And right, Jonas, this ain't over yet either. Two men on, first and second, 1 man down, top of the 6th. Ferguson bounces the pitch up at the plate. Low, ball 2. Twelve hits for this Toronto Blue Jay lineup today. Strike. At the knees, 2-1. Off the end of the bat. Foul. 2-2 count. Foul back again here. Miles Straw in the game here for the Blue Jays. He's going to go ahead and fill in for Lukes. Lukes, of course, made that play out in the outfield in the last inning where ran right into that swing and a miss. Strike 3 for Straw. 2 men out. Something maybe monitor for tomorrow's game is Luke Stake out of the game here. He's already dealing with some hitting the ball off his thigh and rammed that thigh right into the wall again, chasing down a fly out. Alejandro Kirk steps up to the dish now. 2 men down. Toronto up 9-2. 9-2. Strike. Misfit, when it rains, it pours. Regroup and destroy them in games 4 and 5. Let's go, man. Let's go. I love it. Hit up in the air here to right field and deep, and he punched that out. Holy crap. I can't believe you put that out. Man, the Blue Jay lineup is just crushing in this game. Oh. Well, somebody woke their bats up. Golly. Didn't even feel like he hit it that hard, man. Like, you look at the swing on the stroke, it just looks like he gets it off the end of the bat. It just, the ball just kept carrying. How did that trash can put that much torque on that thing? Ugh. This ball smashed into center field for a base hit. I need to check these bats. I think we got a corked bats. Putting this game into contention. I'm raising this with the commissioner's office. There are corked bats at play here, I tell you. Corked torpedo bats. 5 runs in the third, 1 run in the fourth, 2 runs in the fifth, 4 runs in the sixth. Swing and a miss. Chris, I can't blame you. Well, I'm done for today. I don't blame you in the least, my man. Here we go. Come here. I got you. Fritz almost made me sick when I learned that Dan had a cute nickname for this guy, Fergie. He's playing like Fergie, if you know what I mean. Double play ball. That was a weird choice by Naylor. I think he thought there was 2 outs there. He could just walk the bag and say he threw a short hop. Okay. Come here. Okay, so out number 3. There we go. There we. Weird commercial. Jordan says, great thing about the Mariners is they always bounce back after a brutal loss. I love it, man. I hope so. And it's just one game. They can score 1,000,000 points in this game. It only counts for one game. So let's not get doom and gloom on this. No more than we would have gotten too high on the hog, thinking that we got this no problem. We're going to have to earn this series, but we're up 2-1 off this game even if we lose. If we lose. If a comeback doesn't happen, and I still say that's a big mother effing what if. I still got the faith. We're still sitting just fine here. We're sitting just fine in the cockpit. We got missile lock. I got tone. I got tone. Hear that tone? That's missile lock tone. Freaking Toronto Blue Jays.
Target neutralized.
2 more games from now, what are we going to be saying?
Headshot.
That's right. That's right. Keep the faith, my people. Keep the faith. Half Daddy says, Wookiees are us, as the win probability has us at 90, has the Toronto Blue Jays at 99.8%. Now, there's 2 ways you can look at that. You can say that there's a 99.8% chance that the Seattle Mariners will lose this game, or you're in my shoes. You're instead looking at that going,
so you're telling me there's a chance?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right, Julio's got a 2-2 count. 3-2 count, excuse me. Daniel, I'm surprised you're still streaming when the game's already over. It ain't over until it's over. Swing and a miss by Julio. Saying there's a chance, baby. Okay, now it's 99.9, but I'm just saying. Julio was worth the whole 0.1%. His one out. Oh, goodness. Batted ball to the shortstop. Tough play. He's up with it. Throws it deep, and he gets Polanco charging hard, trying to get the first 2 men out. Both got to believe in that 0.1%. You see 99.9%. I see hope. All right, 2 men down, Naylor up, first pitch swinging, swats it over there to Guerrero. Guerrero makes the play, pitches it over to Bieber, and 6 innings is in the books. Mariners down 12-2. Here we go. Why is Brendan Jazz not having catches today? Darnold's icing him out. We'll get in the Blue Jays bullpen next inning, and it's going to all happen right then. I'm telling you guys, I know this. I know it. Gornish, I didn't realize that Bieber was the Rays pitcher. He's really not been. I mean, he once was a guy as good as anybody out there, but he's been coming back from that Tommy John thing. Probably had a feeling at his best of all season, though, I would say, considering that he's been the furthest probably removed from that surgery at this point. Addison says the Blue Jays win tomorrow, it's going to get a little uncomfortable. Yeah. I see it the same way. Adrian X, we need to stop playing soft zones. Enough of the soft zone starting pitching. That's right, Fritz. It was never going to be a cakewalk. It says they had some hard contact right outfielders when he scored one right at Naylor, scorched one right at Naylor, and earlier I knew that something had to give. Some days is not your day. Some days they're just locked in, and they came in here driving hard to take a game back here. They were able to do so. Swing and a miss. Kevin says people keep saying it's one game, but momentum is everything. We'll lose tomorrow too, and we'll be 2-0 and we go back to Toronto. Why will we lose tomorrow? I mean, maybe. You don't know. We don't know how it goes tomorrow. I mean, we had the momentum coming into this game at home. It's Detroit hitters should come in this dejected then if momentum, should be, we've already lost series. They didn't, that sometimes, baseball's weird that way. I mean, you weren't going to walk through them in this series. As good a team as this is, I think, to say, well, you're going to take them in 5 easy or 4, and it's like, well, it's tough to do. It's a good baseball team. We're in a good position still on this. Don't know which way this thing will go, but you're in as good a position as you could hope for with an opportunity to still close this out at home. 1-2 pitch here for Perkerson. Top of the 7th inning. Hit up into the air, foul. Bounced up at the plate. Foul. Man, hit and play. Another foul. This is lifted out to left field. Randy Arosarena's on it for out number 1. One man down. Off the end of the bat, base hit out into left field. A 1. Ferguson 2 for 4. Home run in this game to dead center field. Strike. In the bat, Jonas says, get out. Bullpen colonoscopies tomorrow, scheduled in the morning. Got to get everything out before tomorrow night. That's right. Give them some of that stuff you got to drink before the night when you got to do that. Like gallon and a half of that gross ass liquid they make that flushes you out. Definitely give it to Kirby tonight. And maybe 2 doses of it at that. Boy, if we have to go back to Kirby in this series, huh? Not too confident there. Wild pitch here by Ferguson. So we'll remain 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 for Springer. He'll go down, and that'll be 2 outs in the top of the 7th. Mariners down 12-2. No reason to panic yet, Addicted. That's right. Let's hold our water, boys and girls. Hold our water. Hit on the ground to second base. Polanco will be up with it and throw it out there, getting him on a quick, easy work there. We go to the middle of the seventh. Mariners hold the line in that inning. Ferguson knuckles down in that inning. Might have been the first inning we haven't had a run given up, I think, since the third for Toronto. So it's kind of an accomplishment itself. Danes, as the crowd seemed apprehensive from the first pitch. There's a little nervousness. Wonder if that maybe creeped in a bit here. Oh, a couple donos here, sorry. David, thank you for the $2 donation. He says, I feel bad for all those at the game, laughing out loud. Yeah, you're coming down there on a work day, going through that Seattle traffic. Not an easy, probably had to take all day off work to get down there. Hyped up for this game, thinking let's put the close on this, and not even something close, you know, just no, just not giving you anything to really root upon here in this one, outside that 3-run home run, which probably got him juiced up. It's tough. That is tough. Thank you, though, David. Ender, appreciate the $5. Let's keep hope up for the Texans game. Go Hawks. We'll get those Blue Jays next game. Let's go, man. Let's go, Ender. We'll get them in the next one, man. We'll get them in the next two here. A gentleman's sweep. Thank you for the $5 donation, and definitely got hope for this Texans game. I think we'll get somebody back for the secondary, and that will probably weigh pretty heavily in helping us out. But playing home, prime time, kind of like nighttime more than prime time, I guess. But prime time for the West Coast. I think we can get this one. Definitely think we can get this one. 1-0 count here to Suarez. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Thank you, Ender. Hopes are still high. We're still in the advantage in this one. The catbird seat, you could say. 1-1 pitch. Slapped out into left field by Eugenio. Base hit. Runner on first. The beginning of the magic starts now. Rodney Prescio, thank you for the $5 donation. Thoughts on the Mike McDonald defense? I'm not a fan of it. I feel his defense is hard to watch. It's actually a really good question. There's a bit to unpack there with that. Give me just a sec here. We'll get right over into it. Blue Jays have gone to their bullpen here. So Bieber out of the game. Going to Fisher here in this one now. High. Ball 2. Predominant Canzone. Canzone 0 for 2 in this game. Got that batting average all the way down to 0.71. You talk about a guy that's due. He got a slider there right in the middle of the plate. He hung one. Canzone couldn't do anything with it. 2-1 pitch. Canzone hit a couple of those today where he just gets out in front and then just sends it to the right field screen, foul. Double play ball. So Mike McDonald's defense. Let's get the end of this inning here. Swing and a miss. Man, every time there's a ball, Robles is check swinging it. He cannot see what is a strike or is not. He's got that bat ready to cork every time. Chris says, I think Calzone's batting average is down to .50. Yeah, it is. 0.67. I think you are at a spot where you have to wonder. I know you want the lefty-righty matchups, but you got to wonder on like how much further down can you afford with this guy to have him hit where he's hitting to where it's you're getting less than nothing from him in the lineup here. 2-1. This ball's hit up into the air to shortstop. He'll field it up there. That'll be out number 3. So we go to the 7th. Mariners down to the last 6 outs, down 12-2. But Canzone is just guy hit 300 for you in the regular season. You're getting him lefty-righty matchups right now. That's the other part of this is you're getting him the advantageous matchup for him to be able to hit at his best. And he is just swinging horribly at the ball. I got to feel like Garver or Rivas at this point. I know they're not going to give you a significant upgrade, but they could hit like $125, which would then give us twice of what we're getting from Canzone in that hitting in the order right now. He just doesn't look at all comfortable at the plate. He looks overmatched. He looks like a AAA hitter you got, and I don't think he is normally, but just this is what you've seen from him in the playoffs at this point. I think you've got a couple dead zones right now in this lineup here in the postseason play. We go from Suarez, Canzone down into Robles, and you're kind of in a black hole territory in this lineup right now. Suarez got at least a single. He's good for at least every other game. He'll get you at least a hit, but tough. Sean says, read Seahawks Texans. Let's go. Hawks using the run to set up the pass. Sammy Dimes maturing with McDonald's Seahawks. Yes, please. 2025 Seahawks 12-5 for the playoffs. Let's go. I like that, Sean. I love that thought. Let's get that. Rodney, deep question, unpack on McDonald's defense. Do I like McDonald's defense? I do. I think that while I would be more often than not driven towards saying I like defenses that are going to have a little more pressure base to them and the lean to being willing to kind of go more blitz heavy and run things tight at you, kind of a little bit a la like what you get with a Brian Flores style of defense, varied, willing to come at you from every angle, just going to keep you confused. It's going to be a long day at the office and dealing with them. I certainly like that style of defense. Mike's not so hyper pressure based, but where I think Mike's at is that I think he's found a very much a perfect balance between running those coverages where you're in sort of the static dropping to depth and keeping things clean at depth and making teams earn their way up and sort of opening up a door of a little bit of the bend but don't break aspect of things defensively. But he's unusual in that he's got a little bit more of the pressure-based concepts and stacked boxes that he throws at the forefront of you in order to give you a little bit more of a pressure-based feel. I think the problem that we ran into this year in the start of the year and where he was especially at is it kind of reached a boiling point here a little bit in the Tampa Bay Buccaneer game is that, he's really started to really even drift since coming to Seattle further away from the stack boxes. He started to drift further away from the simulated pressures and the actual pure blitzing. And that's where he starts to slide into a realm that's more closer to akin of what we had gotten with Coach Carroll. So I think he's got to fight a little bit of the trappings of that. You can't just be hyper conservative and just kind of sit back on your heels and go, okay, we'll blitz like 4 times a game and that'll be enough. Offenses will know what you're doing and they'll get after it. Base hit out here is going to get down to the wall. Vladimir Guerrero is having a hell of a day here for the Toronto Blue Jays, and he's going to keep it going here with a double. He is 4 for 4 now. Mariners just can't seem to get him out. Mariners going to Jackson out of the pen, so they're definitely going to their also rans out there, sort of signaling we give up. So I think when he's running it in the other way of that, Rodney, you won't find a guy more frustrated. You heard it with me from the Buccaneer game where he made that very simple and easy for that Buccaneer team to take you apart. And he acknowledged it and realized it and made adjustments this week. But okay, let that be a lesson to you on that. You can't ride through a whole game just leaning back on simplicity. And I do feel like maybe with Aiden Dirty back there, you have a guy who's in Mike's ear as far as leaning him into that direction of not being willing to blitz as much because Dirty comes from the Quinn tree, who comes from the Carroll tree. See, this is how we get back to the Carroll system. It's like he is technically your DC who comes from the Quinn, who comes from the Carroll. So it's like there's some of this stuff that's inherently sort of same on same there. But the real key here is the 2 parts of your defense that are different are what you do on the back end and what you do with your fronts. You got to vary both of those aspects of things, not one or the other. But overall, I do like it, but I can get the frustration for when it falls back into old habits, old rhythms. Ball bounced over to the shortstop, Crawford. Crawford able to keep Guerrero at second to not allow him to advance over. Big time, big time. Appreciate you, Rodney. Great question, by the way. Tasman, as a Blue Jays fan, I know the series is over. Congrats. You beat our 2 best starters without problem. I don't know if it's over, man. It's going to be a fight. I think it's going to be a fight. Jeffrey Thistle, thank you for 41 months as a Hawks Nest member. Members of the channel, please do keep an eye out on your community post. I just posted out the call-in show that we're going to be having on Saturday. So please be on the lookout for that. But thank you, Jeffrey, for that long-time support and dedication. 2-0 count, 3-0 count here to Alejandro Kirk. He hit the most laziest of home runs out to right field in his last at-bat. Jeffrey says, flush it. Next game. I love it, Jeffrey. Flush it. On to the next. On to the next. Fritz says, Canzone, 67, Robles, 120, back-to-back. It's a massive inning killer. Yeah, especially when you have on the front side of that Suarez at 156. You just keep kind of going down to the bottom of the lineup there, and you just kind of end up putting it. Your lineup kind of goes just completely dead right there, and that's tough, getting down to that low of a batting average. You're certainly not expecting your guys even to be up around, all those guys hitting like 275 at the bottom of your lineup against really good pitching in the playoffs. But I think you also don't expect them to go to some place that's just being a complete dead zone in the lineup. And I think all 3 of those guys, on top of their batting average being poor right here, the thing they all have in common, and Suarez is a little bit better on this front at least, is just the amount of poor bats they have, where just don't seem to be looking for the right pitch, seem to be getting tricked, seem to not be seeing it clearly. Boy, this ball's hit on a line at Suarez. He comes up with it, and he'll throw him out at first. That'll be 2 men down. But there's a lot of things in watching them go up at the plate that's sort of bothersome about the bats they're bringing up there, where they just don't look comfortable, and they're completely searching, and you're not going to have an answer for all 3 of them. You got to kind of roll with what you got in Robles, and you have to roll with what you got in Eugenio. But I think at least in Canzone, you can be like, okay, this one we can improve this. We can get somebody on base a little bit more than we're getting so far with this. A lot of wild pitches in this game. There's another one there with Cal, and Guerrero will get over to third base. So 2 men down. Guerrero on third. Mariners down 2-12. Yeah, I think Coach Mike's that guy. a miss. 0-2. Power said, we don't realize what a good front office head coach dynamic we built. This can win Super Bowls. I agree. It's very well suited to each other, it seems like. It's Randy leading off 152 has been really quiet lately, really bad. Yeah. At least he will kind of find a way to get on base, take some pitches. Those other guys are just, they're free swinging through. Sometimes they'll go down just on 3 pitches and just swinging on the zone, out of the zone. Strike 3 there. Nice job by Jackson to get out of trouble there after the opening leadoff double. He's the only reliever so far here today that's been able to escape without allowing more damage. 12-2, bottom of the 8th. Mariners going to try to see what they can do here. Dick says, speaking of can zone, I bought some cheap Cal Zone today. An impulse buy. HGB, did you manage to get my tweet? I kind of don't remember what I sent. I don't think so. What? My God, dude, the attempt to try to get to nuance in the discussion is so hard. It's such a tough thing. Oh, he's responding to him. I don't think I got it. I'm not seeing anything in here. I got a lot of notes coming up on stuff, though. A lot of notos. Man, for some reason, that tweet just kind of took off. Holy crap, dude. 111,000 impressions on a one-sentence tweet. Okay. Twitter's weird. I didn't see it in there, though, HHG. Peter says, rally cap, boys. Rally cap time. Come on. Come on here. Inside, outside. Inside, outside. Rally cap time. Crawford swing and miss. Yariel Rodriguez out for the Toronto Blue Jays. 3-2 record on the year. 0-1 count here to Crawford. Just need the top line to come. That's it. That's all. Come on, drop. Drop, baby. Now, number 1, fly out to left. Man, the Mariner offense went cold. Adrian X, thoughts on the Huskies versus Michigan this Saturday? I mean, Michigan's been vulnerable since Harbaugh left. You can get after them. Huskies got a little bit of magic working, so they got as good a chance as anything else to take this game. I think isn't it at home, Adrian? Adrian X? Hendricks? I think it's home. Kind of an either way kind of game. I'll give the Huskies the nod. DeMond's playing really good ball. D-Man W says, this is my fault. My friend who's a Dodgers fan was talking about a Dodgers-Mariners World Series earlier. Too premature. We can't jinx it. We might have brought a little bit of the jinx factor in with a little bit of our confidence early on, especially after that Julio home run. 0-2 count to Randy Rosarina. Mariner fans looking kind of dejected there in the audience. Outside. Really don't understand why I have to look at Shohei Ohtani for 9 innings. That's kind of a silly ad to have to be staring at. One and two count. Outside. 2-2. One right at a time, baby. Still bullish on the Mariners, Sean. Still bullish on the Mariners. And Main Street Paul, this game is stupid. D-man, don't blame yourself. We kind of jinxed ourselves in the check in too confident. We needed a heat check. And we got checked. We got humbled. 3-2 count. Rosarina lifts this out to left field. This ball will carry, and it's gone. Home run, Randy. He turns on one there and gives it a ride. 3-12. One at a time, one at a time. Judah's being all right, Megan, isn't he? I've called those series. I said they'd lose today and win 4 and 5. Look at the comments. Yeah, see, I thought Judah had that as the call, Megan. Judah had the call as being that they were going to be a gentleman's sweep. And he's good. Judah's fine in here. I don't see him not being civil. What do you say? All right, Cal up the dish. 0-1. 1-1. Judah, I still trust in your prediction. Cal gets on top of this one, sends it deep. This ball's carrying back to the wall, back to the wall. It's goodbye, baseball. Mariners carve another one out. Ramalama ding dong. Cal with his 3rd postseason home run, giving the Mariner fans at least a little something there. They're in the house. Nobody's gone home yet. Nobody's trying to beat any traffic. They live or die with this baseball team. Cal sends a nice pitch there in the right field seats. We ain't going softly into that good night. Let's go. 12-4, only 8 runs away. I can smell it. Inside, ball 1 to Julio. The momentum is shifting. Shifting, I tell you. Brian, 9 more solo home runs and we're in this thing. Hot. Julio, ball. Cal, what is that, 63 on the year? 63? Rally cap working, putting in some work here. 1 man down, 2 runs in. Julio up with a 2-for-3 game here. He wobbles that bat on his shoulder. Rodriguez on Rodriguez. Ball 2-1. Bullpen is up and rolling with Flaherty. Flaherty, it's up in the pen. You can't close it off, Rodriguez. We'll get ourselves someone out there that can then. Julio gets underneath this and sends it deep, deep, but right at the beginning of the warning track at center field. That'll be out number 1. Jeffrey A. Thistle, thank you for the $10 donation, Jeffrey, as well as being a member of the channel. He says, my biggest issue with the whole playoffs is the announcers. They clearly only watch Dodger games of the 3 teams left. Listening to them list facts they probably Googled about our team triggers me. Well, Rivas is going to get up here and take over for Polanco here, getting him in a bat, maybe with a little bit of a plan to have him fill in for Canzone next game, when maybe it will be the worst of ideas in that DH hole. But yeah, it does sound like, I don't have the volume up, but it does sound like the announcers have been pretty bad, which is troubling to see. I mean, you should be well acquainted with these teams. You should have watched some of the regular season games. I mean, if it's what you do for a living, then it's your job to look at it, just like it would be to me watching other football games to be prepared for teams we're going to play. So it's a long season. You got a lot of opportunities to check these teams out, but maybe that'll just make my my coverage that much more riveting because I'll know what I'm talking about with them. At least with the Mariners. 0-2 count here to Rivas. Thank you, Jeffrey, for the $10 dono. Low. Ball one. Very kind of you. Jeffrey Thistle, thank you for another $2 donation. It says, I wish they used local announcers for the playoffs. That would be cool. Let them do a simulcast kind of thing. Yeah. It would be way better. That's for sure. Of course, then how do you pick, Jeffrey, which ones you use in different states? Like, the proximity thing, It'd be improved even if you're like Michigan, though, getting the local Blue Jay announcers or whatever. To your point, still would make it better. Swing and miss, strike three. Unfortunately. Hold this, let me turn off autoplay. All right. Well, there we go. End of the eighth. So a couple runs back, but the Mariners will be back down their last opportunities. Appreciate you, Jeffrey, the donos. Be cool to get local announcers on. Of course, I'm covering this, so let's get all the eyeballs back over here instead. Ray says, save these home runs for the next game. Hopefully the Blue Jays used up all their runs in this one. I don't know how Cal Raleigh's not a Gold Glove finalist, Kevin. I don't get that one myself. He has not one passed ball all year long. He's throwing runners out at a very high rate. He manages the pitching staff as well as anybody in the book. He's a great framer behind the plate as well. I mean, if there's 5 real major skill sets for catching that you would put into what would determine a guy to get the Gold Glove, that would certainly be it, you would think. But not even a candidate. Brian says, took 8 innings to wake up our bats, but let's try to carry that momentum tomorrow. Let's do it. Let's do it. Dickie Brandon, okay, 3 up, 3 down. Then the bottom of the Mariners lineup starts a comeback for the ages. I mean, man, I got to change my bong water. Teasing. You never know, man. That would be awesome. Sean says Rick Riz, the national audience would be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun. That's right, Fritz. Hawks Nest is the local announcer. That's right. Jordan says the announcers are awful. It's worse than Mahomes Glaze. Ooh, that is. Mahomes Glaze is high level toxicity of announcing. Like that has burned my ears kind of announcing. Ray Barrios, Joe Davis, also the Dodgers local radio announcer. Yeah, Judo, I like the Brewers Seattle Pilots aspect of that'd be a cool World Series. Plus, I just like to play the Brewers over the Dodgers. They just seem like a monster. The best monster money can buy. The Writers Association, I think, of America, Baseball Writers Association of America, Megan, I think, decides the Golden Glove. And peace on earth in the chat. Good vibes in the chat. We got to get these good vibes back. Everybody part of the same team, part of the same. Ooh. See, we got the bad vibes in the chat. Gave up a home run there. You just smashed that thing out into right field for a shot. I want peace. Peace on earth in the chat, please. We need to be in alignment to get this Mariner team right for tomorrow. Barger gets the home run there. Blue Jays play tack on. Lots of home runs for them. Well, they can swing it in this park, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I don't want the Dodgers at all either. It's like, it's Golden Glove-like MVP. Kind of, yeah. Same sort of association that gets to... Nice throw bear by Eugenio Suarez, round number 1. Yeah, same principle. The writers get it kind of voted in. It's never a good sign as a pitcher when you look down at the ground on your pitch, which is what Jackson did there. He ended up staring down at the ground as he let go of that pitch, and you don't know where that ball is going. You're just kind of throwing it blindly there as hard as you can up to the plate, and Barger crushed it. This ball hit well out to Julio, but he's right on it for out number 2. One, two, three, 4, 5 home runs for the Blue Jays today. Mariners have managed 3 of them. So much for the Marine layer, huh? These are some no-doubters today, too. Cal's just barely cleared it, but otherwise, base hit out into right here from Springer. He'll continue a good day. There's been some, you got your money worth kind of swings. Fritz says, yeah, this could be worse. Man, the Brewers look really bad. Yeah, they look overmatched right now. They had that amazing play the other night, and they still are down 2-0. It's rough. 2 outs. Strike. 9-run bottom of the 9th coming, I'm telling you. Come on. There we go. Bouncer to the first base side. He'll tag him out. Jackson will get out from it. Mariner bullpen brought in kind of the B team today all the way across the board. And it was a struggle for them. After Kirby gave up the 8 runs, you've given up an additional 10 runs. No. Given up additional 5 runs after that. And our offense has got its work cut out for him here. Dun, 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 dun. Ryan Ball, the pitcher, looked down at the ground for the pitch. That's life-threatening. Yeah, not a smart call on his part. You probably want to keep that head up. Instead, they did in slow motion, so you could just see his head pitch went down, his head goes down like this, looking at the ground as the pitch goes out of his hand. Not good. Jeffrey Thistle, thank you for the $5 donation. I wonder who the casual fan roots for in a Brewer Mariners World Series. No big bad guy. Also, F the Dodgers. Anyone can win with $1 billion roster. Yeah, I have no respect for what the Dodgers are doing. I had no respect for what the Yankees did in the mid-90s when they were operating from the same sort of place of we can buy whatever we want to buy. There's no salary cap. It's I just because you can do it doesn't make it right. Unfortunately, I feel like the Players Association and Union is really missing the opportunity to grow the game here through their bit of their greed on this and their inability to be open to taking the salary cap in the sport. It just doesn't make any sense to me. When you've had other sports like football where the careers tend to be much shorter and you don't tend to make as much. So some of this just doesn't make sense to me on this. And the Dodgers have exploited the system in the same way the Yankees did. And unfortunately, it helped to get the Yankees a couple of World Series there in the mid-90s when they were spending all that money. And it may just be working in the Dodgers' favor in that same way, Jeffrey. It frustrates me, man. It does. Especially because we have had a team in the past that have been so hesitant to actually spend money. Gotta lay your money down. Gotta lay your money down. I don't know. I think it's an easy one for the average sports fan to look at on this one, Jeffrey, because remember with the Brewers, that was the Seattle Pilots. So it was originally a Seattle franchise. You know, you could be like, well, that's the franchise that you stole from that city. And then they had to get this one back years later, finally. So maybe that'd be enough of a way to draw a little bit of the narrative in the direction of getting people pro Mariners. Plus, I think people would just be in favor of us anyway. We're a funner team. Nobody even knows who plays on the Brewers. Nobody. There we go. Base hit, center field, starting us out. Harry Ford in the game, baby. Harry Ford. It's a strong stash on a young man. Hey, you Henios stepping up to the plate, folks. You should have wanted to stay tuned in. We got 9 straight runs on deck. Mason Flaherty out for the Toronto Blue Jays. They call him Flaherty. Nobody out. Runner on first. Hey, Eugenio Suarez up to the dish. 1 for 3 with a single in his last at bat. Jeffrey, thanks for another $2 donation. He says, only need a touchdown and a field goal, and this is fine. Come on, we're right there.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There. Strike. All right, it's a good pitch. We'll give it to him. Touchdown and field goal. That ain't nothing, Jeffrey. It's a blink of the eye. Blink of the eye, I tell you. Swing and miss on the cutter. 1-2. At this point you're making, Brandon, is why I think it will be a World Series with Seattle versus the Brewers. I could see it. I certainly would welcome that one a lot more. Be good for baseball, too, to have 2 franchises like that doing it rather than kind of rewarding a Dodger franchise for getting back there for spending the money. One thing's for sure, baseball's staring down the barrel of having to accommodate this sooner than later, whether the Players Association wants it or not. It's not a real sustainable model for keeping this sport growing. Does look like the game 4 probables will be Max Scherzer going up against Luis Castillo. Scherzer with 25 career postseason starts. Castillo's been pretty nails in the playoffs in his career. Some of the sample size he has gotten from an opportunity standpoint. 1-2 count here to Suarez. Trying to hang tough. High. Good eye. Ball 2. Brian, this is another reason why I hate baseball. No salary cap. Buying championships is just wrong. Agreed, Brian. This is the strong thing that football has done, you know, and how they brought their salary cap to be. I mean, even in the NBA, you have luxury tax. You can still kind of go beyond it. And with football hardlining the salary cap, this is what has built you to parity. This is what's built all of these cities to feel like every year at the start of the year that they have a reasonable chance to make something happen. And when you go the other way with it, you remove that hope. And the one thing you can't remove from a fan is hope in their team. And it's hard to have hope when you're looking at somebody spending 5, 6, 7 times more money than you, and really, you know, just freewheeling in that role of things. And baseball's had some owners who have gone kind of nuts with that. And it's part of what's done damage to the sport over the years, because you've eliminated a lot of teams out there from a city standpoint that feel like they got a chance. Good eye here by Eugenio. He's drawn this into a 3-2 count. Just got to get runners on here. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the cutter. Strike 3. Mariners are down the last 2 outs. Demand MLB's 3 decades too late for salary cap. Yeah. It's crazy how the Players Association has been able to keep the owners at bay with that, where every other NHL, MLB, football, all have salary caps. Sean says, what is the best case for Raleigh AL MVP? I think it's the best case is that you measure with what a catcher does, certain things that go beyond just statistical backing as well. When you have the stats on the front end and hitting, Judge is going to have some of that, but Judge really takes a big L when it comes to defense out in the outfield. And Judge takes an L when it comes to playing, I think, even more significant portion of DH snaps, DH at bats, DH games than what you saw from Raleigh. And Raleigh is as top end as you get in the catching standpoint of it defensively. And so that part can't be undersold, especially as defensively at the catcher position. You can't itemize everything they do in a statistic. Garver up the plate now. He's first pitch swinging. He'll knock this up foul. Might be playable. It is playable. Guerrero's got it. Out number 2, and we are 1 away from this thing being closed on now. Abdi Prime, this is disgusting, and we are at home. Our players need to have some pride and should be ashamed of themselves tomorrow. It's a must-win game with game 5-2, both at home. Yeah? Got to bring much better tomorrow, Abdi. Both tomorrow and Friday home games, we need to do better. We can't go back to Toronto. This is disgusting, getting smacked by the Blue Jays. Amen, man. Bring it back tomorrow, man. Get back on. It's 1 game, flush it. Doesn't matter how... batted to the ground, first base side. That will be that. Out number 3 there, and that will be that. So Mariners will go down 13-4 in this one. Unfortunately. Is just kind of ran into a buzzsaw today. Little you could kind of do about it. Had the Toronto Blue Jay team just jump on top of you in this one after you got through 2 innings of really cool, smooth work with Kirby. Went off the rails with him, and he just kind of lost his location on 2 specific pitches. Couldn't get the slider over for a strike, and then he was just leaving the fastball in the middle of the plate and smack dabbly do. That's all it took. That is all it took. Buddy says the difference between the NFL and MLB, NFL has a salary cap, MLB doesn't. Yeah, it makes a big difference. And especially when you have teams that exploit this lack of a system being in place. Oh, there's no salary cap. Oh, there's no luxury cap with a salary cap. If you're going to go soft cap, why don't we go crazy? Why not? And baseball has been trying to get this across the players. There was a whole battle that went down between the commissioner and Bryce Harper, player representative from the Phillies, when he came to their ball club here midseason to try to talk about this being an issue that was going to come up to the forefront. And it's probably going to lead to a lockout in baseball within a couple of years. I've already heard rumors of this being on the horizon, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if it goes that way, because the players are really trying to dig in on this one when they probably shouldn't. You're going to have to give it up eventually here. Brian says that's mercifully over. Yeah, that's a rough game, man. They just jumped on top of us. Cut us in half. See, Lord, one positive, Max Scherzer's a pretty cooked as a pitcher. Yeah, well, this Toronto lineup woke up in a big way here. So we've got to come back, and Castillo's going to have to come back and be nails to the other side of it. But we've got an opportunity here. 2 more games still at home here to make this stick. Let's go make this thing stick. Jeffrey Thistle, thank you for the $2 donation. Major League Popo average now, unless they talk about Judge. Major League Popo talk about Judge. Poo-poo now. Poo-poo. Popo. Thank you for the donation, Jeffrey. Yeah, I definitely think Judge should not get the MVP this year. If he played a little bit more defense, I'd give it to him. I appreciate what he's done offensively. I don't think Cal's season is that much hugely different offensively. I know the average factors in majorly here, but I come back to just defense is second part of this game, and catcher's got to do a lot back there behind the dish. Brian said, let's hope the Jays got it out of their system and our pitching is on it. It's tomorrow, damn it. Let's hope they blew out all those runs today, to your point. Maybe they used up those bats a little bit, hopefully. Poo-poo. Oh, Major League poo-poo average now, unless they talk about Judge. Missed that one. Fritz, these guys are just richer now. Blowing $1 billion is not much for a few owners. No, I agree. There's a lot of money at stake in Major League Baseball, too. I think having the 162 games to work off of for attendance and viewership, I mean, that's a tremendous amount extra than you get in other sports, too. Can't undersell that. You don't get as many eyeballs to it, but you do have so many more games and days and possibilities to earn profit. But at the end of the day, it's so much better for the sport to everybody be on an even keel and that you do not allow large markets to simply dominate the scene. I can't believe I have to say to baseball that this isn't good for your sport, that this is the way. But they also, sports, they always like it when their big markets are out there doing good work because it gets maximum eyeballs from their perspective on the product. Kind of drives me crazy, though. Fritz, I guess they already voted before game 1 of the playoffs, so that probably helps Judge. Yeah, probably. Nope, yeah, and it's East Coast award, more East Coast writers. They'll probably get it. Jeffrey, thank you for the $5 donation. Salary cap doesn't mean players get paid on less, just means they can't stack 10 stars on one team. Don't understand why players are upset. Yeah, it's that old thing, Jeffrey, of whether it makes sense or not. It's that old default feature you sometimes get with unions. Not that I'm trying to be totally anti-union, just that in this particular place, when a union can go in a little bit of a wrong direction of this, they just get the eyes set on just everything being maximized out into their direction, and everything else doesn't matter. And I think that while I get that the Major League Baseball players have to be aware of that they need to make their money and they need to make sure they're being taken care of, I think that there's got to be a little bit of an outlook of this as well of, hey, well, maybe what's also good for the sport, you want to take that into account as well? And, their answer is, well, that Oakland team needs to just get an owner who's got more money. Well, that small market team over here just needs to get an owner, get some more money. And it's like, well, yeah, that it doesn't always work that way. That sounds good to say it, but in actual practice, it doesn't come out to be that way. And I think this is where the players aren't thinking about this very deeply. They should be, Jeffrey, because this is a little bit of part of what you do as a player is you're coming in carrying the torch from the prior generation and carrying it onwards, not hopefully doing damage to your sport, especially from a kind of a greedy angle of things. And when you're the one sport not operating off of a salary cap and every other one is, you kind of look like the a-hole in the room a little bit when you're sort of holding this line up, especially again when you have hockey, football, probably I'd say even the case of basketball, where those sports are a lot harder on those players' bodies. Football has guys with a lot less of a career on average lifespan than a Major League Baseball player does, meaning less time to go out there and actually earn that money, and yet they are on a salary cap. But the players are that whole fight sort of crystallized this between Bryce Harper and the commissioner midseason that went down, where you went, oh yeah, this is that hard-headed, view that these major league players have. They've been kind of running high on the hog in this because they are the number one union in sports, and they kind of feel feeling themselves, Jeffrey, and so they're not going to give an inch. But it would be so good for baseball if they did. It would have the excitement level it would draw, uniformly speaking, across the national perspective here would be so much more improved. You can't go look at the Dodgers salary cap and them taking 10-year contracts here and then burying Shohei's money there and not say that it's not giving them a huge advantage. Huge advantage. Brian is correct. This is a killer for small market teams. Where's their incentive to even compete? Exactly. You'll start to get them going in a different direction, which is that instead of competing, they'll just be like, well, let's just salvage what we can salvage. We'll try to guess we'll just turn a tiny profit and hope we get lucky with the farm system. A lot like the A's kind of did a little bit there. Everybody got caught up on the small ball stuff, but a big part of the reason the A's were able to do what they did that time with the whole small ball, money balls thing that they did was they had a starting staff that they had put together that was a development from their farm system, that had been developed in-house naturally from their farm system that they could lean on to then build up the rest of the lineup as they sort of cobbled it together. And that's hard to do. It's really hard to do. It's a tough way to win, and especially it's brutal when it comes down to that. You've done that. You got the guys all ready to rock at the same time. You don't quite have enough money to put yourself over the top. Then those guys get to free agency, and then you start to lose a Tim Hudson out there to free agency in Atlanta. And you're not able to keep those guys you developed. And now you got to hit the reset button and do it all over again just to come up just short. It just that will take out the spirit of a market. That'll take out the spirit of a franchise. And how can it not? Kevin says, man, we played like Seahawks at home. Get us back to Canada. Boo, and NHL salary cap is the most fair. Even contract is fully guaranteed, and there isn't as many cap shenanigans like void years and fake money. Yeah, I don't like that stuff either. It's hard with NFL contracts anymore to try. I was trying today to read one on the stream earlier, and I was like, wait, where's that there? And then, okay, okay, wait. And then Nagase had to remind me that the void year money stuff doesn't travel with the player when you trade them. And it's a mess right now in the NFL contracts trying to figure those things out. Jeffrey says 2/3 of Major League Baseball opens this season knowing they have no shot. 100%. And there's nobody that can sell me on that being good for the sport or that being something that's a great metric for this sport, having a lot of sustainability when that's the case either. I mean, I know you've been around for over 100 years as a sport, but like you can't, that's not a good. And Major League Baseball has been so slow to turn their head around on this particular issue. Lethal says, at a minimum as well, 80% of the lowest revenue teams' revenue. Add a minimum as well, 80% of the lowest revenue teams' revenue. Now owners can't be cheap, so players get paid, and the cap prevents stacking up teams. Yeah. You want to prevent it. Fritz, how's that work out for the A's? Didn't win a World Series and they no longer exist. Yeah, but Moneyball works. Yeah, exactly. They're no longer in Oakland. Didn't win a World Series in the back of the strategy. And it shows you how it's like the speech he has in the movie where he's like, you know, here's the Yankees, here's a pile of crap, and then here's us down here at the bottom. And it's that you can be smart in all those different directions. You can assemble that staff from a farm system that you cultivated better than other teams are cultivating. You know, you can kind of find value in certain areas that other teams are overlooking. You can do all that just to still come up short against the team that's got $1 bajillion to spend every year. How can that not be deflating on that in that case of things? Addicted, I hate that when a team maybe has a shortstop that can't hit, they can't put a pinch hitter in for him, then let the shortstop go field next inning. More points to the fans, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it makes you involve a little bit more of the strategy on that, too. I mean, there's little points of moments for strategy in baseball. That's kind of one of those moments. Megan, you have to have a degree in legal language to read the NFL contracts. I know, it's just getting more complicated by the year. HHG, do you see Colin Cowherd put us in his Super Bowl bubble? I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Fritz, because players would never want a salary cap. Don't kid yourself. The biggest benefit of being a pro athlete is money. Yeah, I get it. But they're going to have to get this at some point or another. They've held it out as long as they can. I think based on what I'm hearing, it's coming one way or the other here. Lethal says the Marlins only spend 27% of their revenue on payroll. The Mets spend 90%. Quite a disparity, and quite hard to look at the Marlins and think they've got any chance in a year when there's that much of a disparity. And that's just between them and the Mets, not even necessarily the highest spending team. It just doesn't work. That the addition doesn't quite jive up there. Jeffrey, thank you for the $2 donation, Jeffrey. Math nerds ruin everything. Major League Baseball, just one more thing. Analytics have definitely put a pall over the top of this because you have everything we're talking about with this, and then you've got kind of the nature of the way Major League Baseball plays now, which is I have lamented on the live stream many different times, the death of small ball, the embracing of strikeouts, the embracing of the three good conclusions, a walk, a strikeout, or a home run. And You add into that with what I'm talking about, the front end, where you already have a team that you don't think is in it, and then you're watching the game being played in a different way than you maybe have grown up on it being played, where there was more in motion to it. There was less of a stationary feel to it. This is a little bit why baseball struggled over the last probably 25, 30 years. It's these really two parts that go together in each of those two things. Booze, the Marlins won with a cheap roster. Marlins in 2003 against the Yankees. Yeah, I mean, it's always the point with that too, Boo, where you will find, if I take a 30-year period, can I find an outlier here and an outlier there? Sure. But the rule of thumb is pretty hard-lined. And I even remember with that 2003 Marlin roster, they had some guys they were spending money on. I mean, they were still back in 2003. That was still a Marlin roster that had $48 million in salary at that time. So you did have the Yankees, to your point, up at 180 million, but the Marlins up at where they were at, according to what the numbers I'm looking at, we're still up at some of the higher in baseball that year. If that's accurate there a little bit. Sean says, thanks, Brandon. Get him next time. Let's go M's. Let's go M's, man. Appreciate you. Brady, NFL licenses ruin everything on grubs for money anywhere they can find it until they can put a cap on quarterback salaries. That'll continue to be a problem. Probably, yeah. Megan, I guess pro athletes aren't like office workers. They only have a few years to build a career and make money to provide for the families for the rest of their lives for a few years instead of decades. Yep. I don't begrudge them necessarily going after money in that way. But the owners need to push for the salary cap eventually on that. Everything to do with today's loss for our Mariners, but more of just a grand scale baseball thing. Tasman, go Hawks, go Huskies, Canadian fan in BC. Well, thank you for that, Tasman. And I know you're a little conflicted out there, but we'll see if our Mariners can get this back tomorrow. We've got a jam-packed schedule show for you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and put a button on this one for today, as we are going to be going with 3 shows tomorrow. We've got 12 o'clock, the B&B show. I got a behind enemy lines at 3 o'clock, and then we will be back about 5 o'clock or so tomorrow. I believe it is with the Mariners game. So a lot on deck scheduled for you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you're ready to lock in and ride with me. Want to thank a couple of the sponsors of the show on the way out the door. First off, I want to thank Sleeper for sponsoring the show today. Sleeper's been so very kind. I gave you guys some picks at the top of this show with both the 2 starting pitchers and then with the what did I have in the bat there? I want to say I had forget who I had, but he got the hit. So we nailed our picks at the start of this. Got to win you some money on the back of my recommendations at the beginning of the show. Sleeper's the #1 sports app rolling right now. They've got a couple promotions ongoing at the moment. You can use my code NEST. They'll match you up to 100% of your first deposit, up to $100. And then you don't even need my code. You can just go in there, create a login, and they will give you a free $20 entry as it stands right now just for joining up as it is. It's going to open up here in the state of Washington. You think you know sports, you think you're a little bit ahead of the game, go out there and make yourself some money. Get in on the overs, on the unders. Get into weekly fantasy. Mix and match your baseball, football picks with baseball postseason in full roll. But do use Sleeper today. Use my code NEST. Get some money in your pocket. We call that a win-win-win. A little bit of money from me to you through the app. And you support the channel at the very same time. Big thank you out there to Sleeper for being so kind. I want to thank you too, TickPicks. We'll finish up on this note with TickPicks, as they are a great app for going out there and finding the right seat at the right price, so you can really measure up not both getting the right price of a seat, but also having the chance to pick a prime seat at that, not being stuck with having to overpay on a good seat or simply having to choose nosebleed section seats. So we're going to run that here at the end. I want to thank you guys for an awesome stream. Appreciate the good vibes, and we'll see if our Mariners can get this one back. I said we got 3 shows coming tomorrow for members of the channel. We got a call-in show on Saturday. jam-packed schedule. Be back on Friday as well with the Mariner game, as we're going to be playing that one too as well. So a lot loaded up here to the hilt here over the next couple days. Hopefully you'll ride with me, but thank you for riding with me today. Jeffrey, thank you for all of your donations on that, man. Multiple over today. Roddy Prescio, Ender, David, Michael Bicknell, Poncho, Honcho, Sanchez, David, all of you so very, very kind. We will be back in less than 24 hours with the B&B show, and hopefully back in 24 hours here with a Seattle Mariner win as they get back up on that horse. You got La Piedra on the mound. We've got our theoretical ace out there, the guy that we traded for at the deadline to be that big money pitcher in the big money game when you need him. Let's get that guy out here. Let's get him to shut down this lineup, put it back to cold status, and go take this series to go make our first World Series appearance. I thank you guys for watching today. Appreciate you. If you can hit that like button on the way out the door, I would really appreciate it. But beyond all else, don't you ever forget, go Hawks, go M's. I don't know about you guys, but one of my biggest pet peeves is hidden fees when it comes to buying sports tickets. A little bit extra here, a little bit extra there. Oh, sorry, sir, just one more surcharge. Why can't the price I pay be the price I saw listed? If only there was an app where these fees didn't exist. Which is why I want to give the sponsor of today's show, TickPick, a huge shout out. With over 20 million downloads, TickPick has you covered. NBA, NFL, concerts, festivals, you name it, they got it. TickPick provides the lowest prices, guaranteed. Oh, and no fees. What you see is what you pay. The NFL's in full swing, the NBA's just around the corner, and Major League Baseball playoffs are in the thick of it. Now is the time to lock in the best app in the game at finding you the right ticket at the best price. I love using TickPick. Last year, I was supposed to go to the opening game of the football season with my buddy who was also bringing those tickets, but he bailed on me at the last second and I was left to scrambling. I thought I was going to be up the creek without a paddle, but I fired up the TickPick app, was able to find a really nice seat by utilizing their high seat rating, which just looks at the combination of price and seat quality to get you that best bang for the buck. And I was able to go to the game and experience an incredible game at that. TickPick has your back. Each ticket bought is backed by the buyer trust guarantee so that you can trust your seat is legit. And of course, I've got a code for you guys. When you use code HMA, get $20 off your first set of tickets with TickPick on a purchase of up to $100. That's $20 off any tickets when you use promo code HMA. Make sure you click the link in the description section to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, TickPick.